Death is not an end, but a doorway. Edgar Cayce. His voice a bridge between worlds. The soul eternal speaks in whispers we are trained to ignore. What if the boundary between the living and the departed is not a wall, but a gossamer veil trembling with the energy of those who've crossed over? The dead do not vanish. Their essence lingers, transformed, yearning to connect. They speak to us in signs we often dismiss as coincidence, their messages woven into the fabric of our daily lives, subtle yet profound. This mystery, this dance between worlds, is not about fear or loss, but about love's refusal to be bound by physical form. The departed reach out not to haunt, but to remind us connection endures. Edgar Cayce. The sleeping prophet taught that consciousness is energy eternal and unbound, capable of touching us through dreams, senses, and synchronicities. Yet our modern minds, so tethered to logic, often miss these sacred signals. What if you've been receiving messages all along but haven't learned to listen? Consider this. What if the ache of grief is not just mourning, but the soul's quiet recognition of a presence still near? The dead communicate through channels we rarely notice. Vivid dreams, fleeting scents, flickering lights, or the inexplicable movement of cherished objects. These are not random. They are deliberate, loving attempts to pierce the veil. As Cayce noted, the spirit world is not distant. It is here interwoven with our own, if we but open our hearts to see. Why do we miss these signs? Our skepticism, our pain, or simply our distraction in a noisy world can drown out the subtle language of spirit. Yet the departed persist, using the tools of energy and memory to reach us. In 2023, a Pew Research Center survey found that 41% of Americans reported experiencing unexplained phenomena they attributed to deceased loved ones, from dreams to sensory encounters. Pew Research 2023. These are not delusions, but echoes of a truth older than time. As the mystic poet Rumi once said, "Beyond the ideas of wrongdoing and right-doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there." What if that field is where the dead wait their messages, a bridge to healing, to remembering who we are? Let's explore the 10 ways they speak to us and how you can learn to hear them. Dreams are the soul's playground, where the veil between worlds thins. When you dream of a loved one who's passed, it's often more than memory, it's a visitation. These dreams pulse with vividness, their emotions lingering long after you wake. A woman once shared how her father, gone without a farewell, appeared in a dream, vibrant and whole, sharing family secrets he couldn't have known in life. She awoke with peace that lingered for weeks. Have you had a dream that felt too real to dismiss? What might it mean if you trusted it as a message? Our sense of smell, deeply tied to memory, becomes a conduit for the departed. The sudden whiff of a grandmother's rose water, a father's pipe tobacco, or a spouse's lavender perfume in an empty room is no accident. A grieving husband recounted smelling his wife's fragrance months after her bottles were packed away, always at moments when he needed her strength. These scents are anchors pulling us toward the truth of their presence. What scent has caught you off guard, stirring a memory you can't explain? Energy is the language of the soul, and the departed can manipulate it. Flickering lights, radios playing meaningful songs, or devices turning on without cause are their attempts to signal us. Cayce documented how consciousness, as pure energy, can influence our world's electrical systems. A lamp might flicker when you speak their name, or a song tied to your bond plays at a pivotal moment. What devices have acted strangely in your life, and what were you thinking about when they did? Physical sensations. A gentle brush on your shoulder, a cool breeze across your face, or the weight of someone beside you on an empty bed are intimate messages from beyond. A young woman grieving her mother felt her hair stroked as she wept, just as her mother had done in childhood. These moments, far from frightening, offer solace. When have you felt a touch that logic couldn't explain? What if it was love reaching across the veil? Animals, unburdened by human skepticism, sense energies we often miss. A dog staring at an empty corner, a cat tracking invisible movement. These are not quirks, but acknowledgments of presence. A widow's retriever sat by her husband's armchair every evening at 7 p.m., wagging its tail as if greeting him. What have your pets seen that you haven't? Could their behavior be a clue to a visitor you've overlooked? The departed sometimes shift objects tied to deep emotion, a photo falling, a watch appearing where it shouldn't. These acts require immense energy, often involving lightweight or sentimental items. A family found their grandfather's pocket watch long stored away on their kitchen table the morning of a major decision. What objects in your life have moved inexplicably? What might they be trying to tell you? Repetitive number sequences, birthdays, anniversaries, or patterns like 1111 carry messages. A mother grieving her daughter saw 916, her daughter's birthday, on receipts, addresses, and clocks. These synchronicities are not random. They're signposts of presence. What numbers keep appearing in your life? Could they be a loved one's way of saying, "I'm still here"? Rare but profound auditory messages, faint voices, familiar songs, or whispers in quiet moments reach us when our minds are still. A hospice nurse noted families often hear gentle humming or comforting words in rooms where loved ones passed. These sounds bring peace, not fear. Have you heard a voice or sound that felt impossibly familiar? What might it mean if you listened? Coincidences that feel orchestrated, a butterfly landing as you think of your sister, a stranger with your mentor's name offering timely advice, are the departed's choreography. A student lost in a decision met 3 people in one day sharing her mentor's name, each offering guidance that echoed his wisdom. What coincidences have felt too perfect to be chance? Could they be messages from beyond? A song tied to your loved one plays at the perfect moment, or a book opens to a passage that speaks directly to your heart. These are not accidents but deliberate signals. The key is awareness, opening your heart to the possibility that these are messages. What song or phrase has appeared when you needed it most? What if it was their voice guiding you? The messages are always there, waiting for you to notice. Edgar Cayce taught that the soul is eternal, its connections unbroken by death. To hear the departed, you must cultivate mindful receptivity, a balance of openness and discernment. Meditation, even 5 minutes daily, quiets the mind, creating space for subtle energies. A spirit chair, an empty seat where you imagine your loved one, can anchor these conversations. Journaling reveals patterns and signs you might otherwise dismiss. Rituals strengthen this bond. Light a candle, play their favorite song, or speak to them aloud. A woman found feathers before major decisions, each one a reminder of her mother's guidance. Before sleep, invite dreams of your loved ones, noting their vividness upon waking. A man grieving his wife found letters she'd hidden after a dream showed him where to look. Trusting your intuition is the greatest challenge. Our world dismisses the unseen, yet, as Carl Jung said, the decisive question for man is he related to something infinite or not? Your subtle knowings are not imagination, but the soul's quiet wisdom. Act on small intuitive nudges and confidence will grow. Grief can block these messages, but healing through counseling or ritual clears the way. Physical objects, photos, jewelry act as energetic bridges. Patience is key. Some signs come immediately, others years later. The departed's timing aligns with your soul's readiness. This journey transforms more than your connection to the dead. It reshapes your relationship with life. Those who communicate with the departed, a hospice nurse observed, approach their own passing with peace, knowing death is a transition, not an end. Your relationships with the living deepen too as you cherish moments over petty conflicts. If these truths stir something in you, you're not alone. Subscribe to Edgar Cayce Predictions, not just for videos, but for the clarity your soul seeks. Share your story in the comments. Your experience might be the light someone else needs. This isn't just a channel, it's a return to what you've always known. As you open to these signs, you'll live in 2 worlds, physical and spiritual, seen and unseen. This is not a burden, but a gift. Fear of death fades when you know it's a transition. Your intuition may expand, sensing broader guidance. Discernment keeps you grounded. Not every event is a sign, but many are. Set boundaries, choosing when to connect, honoring both worlds. Cayce wrote, "The continuity of life is the continuity of love." This knowing born of experience brings peace that transcends loss. You're not just healing, you're awakening humanity's spiritual inheritance. Each step you take across the veil helps others see love never ends. If this resonates, click subscribe. Please comment "I felt it" if you have ever witnessed a voice from the other world trying to guide you. Turn on notifications to never miss a truth your soul is ready to hear. The messages are waiting. Will you listen,